Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's Just Two Movies.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies. My name's Daniel King. Justin's in the studio, and if you've never tuned into the show, we watch a good movie and then a bad movie, and then we talk about them. You get it.
Had a few drinks.
How you been, J-Bone?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah,
it's nice, man.
It's been going pretty good.
You follow the Blues really close. They've been doing well.
Oh
right?
Man, the Blues have been doing real well.
That's good.
Last night they just finished the first series. So they finished the Wild. Now they're going to go on to the Avalanche.
Okay.
Which is exciting.
Are they good? Are the Avalanche good hockey team?
Yeah, they're real good.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are you being facetious?
No.
Okay, they actually are.
Yeah.
Well, I don't follow any hockey stuff.
Right. They have been good for several years.
I watched the Cup.
Right.
last year when the Blues went to the Cup. Not last year. 2 years ago.
2019.
2019. Nice. So longer ago than that.
Right.
I watched that though.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
I do like hockey. I don't really follow any sports on like weekly games or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is a summer break. So for summer break, we keep it a little more brisk, a little more keep the pace.
That's what we're going for.
Keep the pace going a little quicker than usual. I don't know where I'm going with this. So anyway, it was your pick for the movie, right?
Yeah, man.
And we went with I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore.
It is a very long title.
It is only get paid by the letter.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I saw it this week actually for the first time, and I asked you what you thought about it, and we decided to do it. And
yeah, I hadn't seen it. I think I had put it on once and then like fell asleep watching it, and then it just like didn't show up on my Netflix queue, so I just never watched it.
Right. Yeah, I hadn't seen anything about it.
Also, super long fucking title, kind of hard to remember.
Right. Very hard.
I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. It's a 2017 crime drama, hour 36 runtime, available on Netflix. Is it a Netflix original?
Yeah,
I think
so.
it is.
Yeah.
It's got a 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, 89% Rotten Tomatoes, 3 out of 5 on Common Sense Media. 62% of Google users like this movie. I will say this is for a certain audience.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of people being like, fuck that. That movie sucked. But I quite liked it. I thought it was fun and inventive.
Yeah, I liked it too, and I thought it was when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be simpler than what it was, and it turned out to be more of a story that I was actually into and interested about, and the action was actually pretty damn good too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is directed by Macon Blair. You said this was his directorial debut?
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. But this movie mostly stars Elijah Wood and Melanie Lynskey. But I'm going to run through some of the other cast because I think all the performances in this are worth mentioning, even the short-lived ones.
Yeah, I think they even the ones that were in it, I think they all did really well. I think it was casted very well.
Yeah, Macon Blair's in it briefly. Jane Levy, Devin Gray, David Yao, Christine Woods, Lee Eddy, Marilyn Faith Hickey, Gary Anthony Williams as the detective.
Yeah,
he was great.
He was.
Robert Longstreet, Chris Dubeck, Michelle Moreno, Derek Mears,
you know who that is?
Myron Natwick. Derek Mears, he plays, I do know who he is. He plays Jason, right?
He does, yeah, in the remake.
He's fucking
Fantasy.
huge.
Friday the 13th. He is a big man.
He's a big motherfucker, and he's got alopecia. And he's super nice. I listened to a podcast he was a guest on once.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice.
Super nice guy. Rick Jones, J.J. Green, and Jason Manuel Alazaba.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Olazabal. He plays Caesar. I don't know. Anyway, Myron Natwick was the old man in the thrift store.
Oh,
I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was.
I was like, this guy's creepy as shit.
He was very creepy, yeah. He's like, you don't like music, just say so. He was very upset about that, too. Yeah.
So what would you, spoiler-free, what would you tell people this is about?
A woman named Ruth had her apartment broke into. She's just living this shitty, just day-to-day. She gets home and drinks a beer, just a depressing kind of life. Mm-hmm. She's on medication, and she gets her house broke into, and she wants revenge for it, basically. The cops won't help her at all, and she takes matters into her own hands and does a pretty good job, too.
She does do a bang-up job. Yeah, her and Elijah Wood.
Man.
They're just on a fucking tear.
He might be my favorite part of this movie.
From here on out, we're going to cover all this and rate it, in the next 20 minutes or whatever. It is chocked full of spoilers.
Yes.
So, if you have any interest in watching I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore, which is available on Netflix, now's a great time to
push pause.
Push pause, until you have time to check it out, because we'll spoil the shit out of it. Unless you're here for it, then in that case, Elijah Wood's the greatest fucking weirdo nerd guy to ever put on the rat tail.
Yeah, the rat tail, man. It's so nice. It's long and tight.
It's well kept. He's just like, what a genuine dude.
Yeah, he is. He's all for it, man. When she asks for help, he is there without question.
Yeah.
And well prepared also.
The dog shit thing.
Yeah.
He like just picks it up and walks off. And then later she comes back to his house. So, all right. Melanie Lynskey's had it up to here. She's tired of people being fucking assholes.
Yeah.
And it's given me some real like God Bless America vibes. Just like her character type or whatever. And she kind of blows up on Elijah Wood because his dog shit in her yard.
Yeah, she finally had enough, man.
Yeah, I would too. She's like, she has a sign. You know what I mean? She has a sign in the yard that's like, please don't let your dog shit in my yard.
Right.
And somebody to just let your dog shit in their yard. That's super rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, when we lived in town all the fucking time.
Yeah.
All the fucking time. Well, old lady, I chased her down one day. I was like, hey, get that dog shit out of my yard.
Yeah, no
She's
joke,
like,
man.
Oh, you're going to make me. Yeah, I am. Go get it.
If you're going to walk your dog, you should pick up after it for sure.
Yeah, or let it shit in front of somebody else's house.
So that was after they had broke in. So she was already broke into, and the cops
Tensions
won't
are high.
do nothing.
The cops don't do nothing.
Yeah, she's upset. She makes they make it out to be her fault basically because she doesn't know if she locked the back door.
Yeah, they do. They're just like, oh, just leaving the back door wide open, are you?
Right. She goes over there. She throws the shit at him. He doesn't. He's like, he feels kind of shitty about it, but he's like, I love this part because she actually explains the sign that she put up. It's an emoji of a poop.
Yeah, she's like, no, it's a picture of a poop with the don't.
Yeah, I really like that part. That was one of the I thought it was funny that she explained.
You can tell he does feel shitty, but he's like so taken off guard by it. He's like, okay. Right. And then he just walks away and picks up the dog shit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He didn't. It's like he didn't even think. And now he realizes that he shouldn't do it. But yeah.
So later, she's decided to take police matters into her own hands, and she's like canvassing the area, interviewing the neighbors or whatever, and you're getting a look at how terrible people are here just in general.
I really liked her interactions with all of the people in this.
All the neighbors, and they're all like all the old dudes are trying to fuck her or whatever. It's
exactly.
super
Why don't you
weird.
give me your number?
Yeah, I'll call you later.
Right. It's done so well.
Licking his chops.
Man, those parts too, they found those people that are no-name people in the show or in the movie, but they were played really well.
They feel real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They feel like real, genuine folks.
Right.
While canvassing the neighborhood, she happens across Elijah Wood. And she's like, hey, sorry, and he's like, no, I'm sorry. He's like, you just took me off guard. I get so deep in my thoughts, I don't even notice what the dog's doing sometimes. He's like, I tell you what, strike me. We'll make it even. Once in the face.
Yeah.
I won't defend myself. He's super weird about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no joke. And then she tells him all about it. And that's that time in his backyard when she tells him to hit him. Or is that later?
No, it's the same time.
Okay. And he gets so angry and he hits the thing with his nunchucks.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that later?
No, that's that. She's telling him about it, and he's like, "Those motherfuckers."
Yeah, he gets so it did, and he's so serious about it too, man.
He's being genuine too.
He is.
Like, he's just a fucking weirdo,
right?
man.
He played that part
sweetest
so well.
rat tail. How long do you think that rat tail is?
Oh, I don't know. It's I don't know if you see the end of it. Do you?
I don't know.
Disappears. It could be down to his ankles.
It's a good foot.
Yeah.
I promise you. If it's an inch, it's a foot.
Yes, that's right. It is a nice rat tail, man.
God, it's wild. So him and Melanie Lynskey formed this weird friendship from her being like, listen, I'm going to get revenge and I need you to help me. Will you help me? And he's like, well, of course.
Yeah, and it all starts when her computer's turned on. So
she's been trying to track her laptop.
Exactly.
Turns on. She goes to the party. She takes fucking Elijah Wood, and he's like, I'll bring my Morning Star.
Yeah, right. Fuck, he actually has a Morning Star.
I don't doubt that he had one for a minute, but that he would actually bring it and go to strike somebody with it.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, he got all serious, and he's like, the guy at the door, she goes, it's a party or whatever, and they seem to be young kids, and he's saying, I don't know what that is. And he's like, she says, Ruth does. She doesn't want no problem. She just wants her computer back. Mm-hmm. And he's like, she says, can you go in and get it? And he's like, I can get these nuts. and she's like, you can get these nuts? He's like, she's questioning him about it.
Right. Elijah Wood just takes a swing at him.
Yeah. He's like, you ain't got to talk to her like that.
And the guy, how exactly does it go down? He grabs the club.
I watched it twice and I couldn't figure out exactly what happened there.
I think there's slack in it.
Right.
And I think that the guy grabs the club when Elijah Wood swings it at him, but there's still
spiky ball kept
there's
going.
Still the chain in the ball. He's like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
And he smokes himself right in the fucking mouth with it.
Because you don't expect to see somebody with
a Morning Star.
A Morning Star,
right.
Yeah. So that was insane. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah.
Wait, was it a Morning Star?
That's what I wrote down a note that he actually gets a Morning Star, but I was thinking it looked more like a flail. But a Morning Star just has the kind of spiky ball at the end of it, I think.
Okay.
And so I don't know.
I wrote Morning Star, so
he said he would get it, so that's what it was for sure.
Okay, fuck yeah.
But yeah, so then they get inside, and the kid's sitting there at the computer, and it's her laptop, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna ding it," and right there it goes off, and then he's like, on the entrance, he pulls out his ninja star and throws it at the wall, and then takes his time to get out this smoke bomb and throws it in the other room for some reason.
He hits the wall with it, and everybody's like, "What?
Stop!"
And then he goes to light a firecracker, and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" Right. And it goes off, and he's like, "Dude, stop!"
Right.
Bro.
Yeah. Yeah, they are so confused.
Message received.
Right. And then
quit lighting fireworks in my house.
Right. Yeah, it was nice. And then they, she got her laptop, and then they, where'd you get it? And they tell her, and it's that.
Yeah, she's like, "Where's the silverware, motherfucker?" Because that's the thing.
Oh, right.
She wanted her laptop, obviously, because it's a laptop. You would want it back,
right?
But the thing that's really upset her is that her grandmother's silverware was stolen, and it had sentimental value.
Right.
So exactly. That's her main priority is the silverware.
And speaking of that, they actually showed that really, really well. When she does finally see the silverware, she opens up that case, which it comes here in just a little bit. She opens up that case, and it instantly goes to her grandma, and you see her grandma. I thought that was really done very well.
So guys, like, yeah, I got it from some shitbag at a flea market or whatever. And they look at each other and like, flea market, baby. Right. They go to the flea market. This is probably, I think, one of my favorite scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Is the thing at the flea market where she finds the silverware, just the guy working there is fucking amazing. It's just a really, really good kind of creepy, eerie scene.
He is.
And then that's like you're talking about when she sees the silverware, that's a great scene too.
This is where I say every part is played so well. That guy, I mean, it's just such a small role, but it's done so well, especially the fight scene that's coming up. Who expects that?
No, nobody.
Right?
So they're she's like, tells Elijah Wood, she's like, go start the car.
Yeah.
Tail, you know what I'm saying? We're about to blow this pop stand.
Yeah, he's so nervous, and he's going out. And
as she's leaving, she sees a bad guy. I don't want to go into a ton of detail about it. You get scenes of this guy like breaking into houses and just leaving upper deckers and just being a big piece of shit.
Right.
He's robbing people. He's
got tape on the shoe.
Yeah, he's got tape on his shoe. She makes a plaster mold, and she knows it's him. She knows he's the guy who stole his shit.
Which is pretty smart, by the way.
It is very smart. She takes it to the cop, and he's like, You fucking kidding me? He's like, what do you do? What if I come down to your work and go, no, actually, this pill? And she's like, that's not how that works.
She's so...
Which I thought was hilarious when he's trying to equate it to her job. And she's like, that's not how any of this, that's not how any of that works.
Yeah, that was really good too.
Yeah, that's funny stuff. Anyway, she sees this guy. She decides to he's following her. She's following him. Who's following who here?
So
she's following him, the blind guy, the thief guy. Melanie Lynskey is, as they're leaving the flea market. And the old man is following Melanie Lynskey because she didn't pay for the silverware.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and
she's
he's yelling and all this, and then he finally catches up to her.
And then he's like, ma'am, you didn't pay for that. And she just whips around and fucking hits that old man and cocks him right in the fucking temple.
Right. Well, I thought he kind of grabbed her, and then she, spun around real fast, and then it like, because she didn't seem to mean to do that, but he's like, you hit me. And then he grabs her finger and just breaks the shit out of it. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, here comes Tony, knocks the shit out of the dude, and that's the last you see of him.
Oh, fuck yeah. You mean Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood's character,
gotcha. I couldn't remember his name and thing. Tony.
Yeah.
So they get out of there. They got the silverware back. They're partying. They're having a good time. They're happy. They're happy with their results.
Right, yeah. They're dancing like crazy.
Oh, they're having a couple of drinks. It's very, very funny. And then they decide, they're like, all right, well, now we know who the guy was, and we got the license plate number off the van that he got into with other people.
Well, she thought, like, oh man, she thought it was done, and he's eating a big ass bowl of cereal first thing in the morning.
He's like, oh, I got the plate.
Yeah.
She's like, why didn't you say so? He's like, oh, I must have forgot. It was pretty exciting.
Right.
Yeah. I got the plate.
Yeah,
he's
there
like,
he
all
is,
right,
being resourceful.
Time to hack. And there's a dude, the hacking scene. The hacking scene's the best. Man.
It is. It is one of my favorite spots.
Just binary data.
Yes.
Woven together like a web. She's like, that's why it's called the World Wide Web. And he's like, just got to know how to avoid the spiders. While he's hacking and shit. It's fucking crazy. And a bunch of porno pop-up ads are like, oh, ew.
Yeah.
He's like, needed to reboot.
Yeah. And he's, all he's doing is on Google,
Yeah, he's like, all right, time to get to work. And it's just Google. Right. He types in how to track license plate number.
He just Googles a thing. It's great. And then he needs a credit card, of course.
Yeah.
So he can't even get it for free. So he's... So
they find out where the car's registered, and they go to the house.
Right.
They go to the house. Fucking nice place.
Really nice.
But it's like a rich old lawyer and his like trophy wife or whatever.
For sure, yeah.
Which
she's either drugged out or something's going on with her. She's not drugged out, but she's on a pill of some sort. She seems she's very flighty.
She's high as fuck.
Yeah, and
she's on Prozac probably.
And it's again another.
Probably not Prozac. I don't think they make Prozac anymore. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't have a clue, but whatever. She's very energetic, and she acts kind of strange the whole time, and
but delightful.
Yes,
she's very, very fun.
Right, and she has them in. She's like, "You want a coffee?" And they're like, "No," and then. Oh, it's just a button and it'll make an espresso. And then he's like...
Espresso from a machine?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, she brings it to him later. He's like, huh, a machine made this.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah.
I used to work at Borders.
Yeah, he was a barista or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm pretty good with the foam.
And then he lists all these things off. He's a professional foamist, I believe.
Yeah, she's like, come on, let's go.
Right. Yeah, and she's like, she gets him back on track. And she's like... I need to talk to this guy. He, his van is registered here or whatever. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, you're talking about my
Junior or whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah, she don't want no part of him. She's like, oh, it's my stepson.
Yeah.
She's like, she don't want no part of that piece of shit. He
talks about how he's like scary, creeps him out.
Right.
His friends are fucking creepy and shit.
Right. And TMI, she says at some point there, she's TMI the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. She's like, oh.
She never met a stranger in her life.
Right. Yeah. And then that's when, this is another one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. It's very brief. They come in, her husband, the rich lawyer, and his bodyguard come in. And then he says something, and he gets the gun out. The bodyguard does, and he's like checking him. Who are you? Who are you? You know,
he sweeps every room in the house.
He says, "That's what I'm saying, dude." He goes from room to room for an extended amount of time. There's 10 rooms.
They're having
or whatever
a conversation. They're having a conversation in one room. The guy's like, "First bedroom clear."
Yeah,
guest bathroom clear.
I didn't write down what rooms he was
exercise
clearing.
room clear.
It gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what all they were, but
dude,
yeah, it was
stupid.
great.
One's like hot stone massage room, or something like that.
It's great. Yeah, I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah, he was fun, man. The bodyguard guy,
right.
He's great. So they're essentially, the dad is like, get the fuck out of here. Like, fuck you guys. Fuck, this is America. Fucking suck my dick. Nobody's responsible for shit.
Right. You do whatever you want.
We can pay for it. Go cry about it, bitch.
Right. Anybody can do anything.
Yeah.
You're not, unless you stop them. Nobody's stopping anybody from doing anything, you know.
Yeah, so he tells her to fuck off, and she goes to, she's like fucking up their weird wicker animal lawn ornaments.
She is.
And she goes to fuck one up, and it's a giraffe.
She goes after the giraffe.
And Elijah Wood leans out of the car. He's like, not the giraffe.
She instantly
so she just turns around.
Yeah.
Just immediately is like, okay, I'll get this then.
She grabs that lawn tiger.
Yeah, lawn tiger.
It's not your lawn tiger.
Throws it in the back of the car. They get in the car and drive off, and Elijah Wood is like very disappointed.
Yeah, because he's not on board for that.
Yeah, that's not your lawn tiger.
That's what he said it like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, not your lawn tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I would have known this is where this was headed,
it's not your lawn tiger.
I would not have participated.
Right.
It's not your lawn tiger.
Right. It's great.
He's fucking cracking me up in this, man. But I guess they bury the hatchet, even though she stole the lawn tiger, because they're the guy breaks into her house again.
Right.
So this is like they're kind of on the outs, but
oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. So this movie takes some pretty weird turns.
Unexpected. Sudden turns. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glance over some of it real fast.
Right.
Melanie Lynskey is attacked by the original dude in her house again. She defends herself, and when she
rocks his world,
she fucking collapses his windpipe.
Right.
He stumbles out into the street, gets hit by a bus. His cohorts see this in their van, so they kidnap Melanie Lynskey.
Right.
Elijah Wood goes by her house, can tell that something's wrong because he can tell there's been a struggle or whatever, and he starts going to look for her.
Right.
Melanie Lynskey wakes up in the van back at the house where she stole the lawn tiger from, where her and Elijah Wood were the previous day.
Yeah, and they're wanting to rob. They're saying, you're going to hold this gun, you're going to get them to open the door, and you're going to point the gun at them and tell them not to do anything.
Right.
And that's how they get in the door.
Exactly. So, once everybody gets in the house, all fucking hell breaks loose. Now, this is the part, if you have any intention of watching this movie, this is the crescendo, baby.
Right.
This movie gets fucking bizarrely violent.
It really does.
Bizarrely violent, which it feels like a weird, quirky, like meet cute kind of romance thing with people who are just weird.
Yeah.
It feels like that's where it's going. Maybe they do a little bit of light crime and hee. Oh, isn't that cheeky and fun? No, it gets wildly fucking violent.
Yeah.
At the end of this movie.
You know what the body count was for this movie?
Oh, please tell me.
It was 6. And that's including the extremely racist woman at the beginning. The old lady that dies.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Which I love that part, by the way. I have her quote in here, what her final words were.
Oh,
God. And it was absolutely great.
Yeah, so Melanie Lynskey works in like a nursing home where people that are on like hospice or they're dying is what's happening. And she's got this old lady in there, and the old lady's just saying wild racist shit, and then she dies. And then later her son's like, what were her last words?
Yeah, they were, keep your gigantic monkey dick out of my good pussy, is what she says, dude. And she says it was such, man, she's just...
such pizzazz.
Yeah, and then that's it. She's done. She turns around and she's dead, but that's the very start of the movie. But I love that.
Did she have
part.
any last words? They all turn and look at Melanie Lynskey, and she's like...
Yeah. No, I don't know if she told them or not. I'm assuming not, but I really like that part.
I probably would have. I'd have been like, I'll tell one of you.
Would they? There's no way they would believe that, though, right?
I wouldn't say it out loud. I'd write it down. I'd be like, I know this is going to be hard to believe, but
well, she was a horrible person, so they probably would believe it. Actually,
The whole time Melanie Lynskey's in that room, she is like fucking just saying some of the wildest shit. She's very funny.
Well, there's some sort of riots going on TV, so she's seeing what's happening, and then she turns the TV off on her.
So I don't want to spoil any more about the movie though, because how much is left? 8 minutes?
Not long. Yeah,
not long, and it's fucking.
It's great.
It gets very violent, and it's good. It's done really well, and there's funny shit too.
When he's like, funny and intense the whole time.
She's like, I like your tattoos. Did you do them yourself? And he's like, thank you. Some of them. She's like, well, they're fucking stupid. They look fucking stupid or something. There's a really nice amount of levity in this that I like a lot. But how many, if your thumbs were silverware?
Silverware
I guess. If your thumbs were rat tails.
Rat tail thumbs.
So they just like dangle. You know, you got 10 thumbs,
at least
but they're
a
all
foot. They got to be at least a foot long.
At least bare minimum 12-inch rat tails. How many rat tail thumbs you give this out of 10?
Man, I'm going to go a 9.5. I really, really liked it. I'm real close to doing a 10. I just feel uncomfortable doing a 10, but I really loved the movie.
I'm going to give it a hard 9. I mean, I really enjoyed this. I can't believe that I haven't watched it for so long. It's delightful.
Whenever I turned it on, I didn't expect it to be near this good. So it was a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah. Good hidden gem, I suppose. I mean, it's probably not a hidden gem. It's a Netflix original.
Right.
So I'm sure everybody listening to this is going to be like, yeah, no shit, dude. You haven't seen it? You're a little late to the party. That's what I do.
That's right.
Late to the party.
Late to the party, baby.
So we're going to go watch another kind of revenge movie. And I'll be honest with you, I thought really hard about watching number 2 or number 3 because they are worse reviewed.
Right.
But I wanted us to start at the beginning of the series because I watched this movie when I was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked it. I remember being like 7 or 8 and watching this and going, okay, cool. I like this.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't seen it since then. So I'm going to see if it holds up. And I'm sure it's got no small amount of schlock in it. So we're going to go watch Darkman from 1990. We will be right back. Here is a word from our sponsors. There you go.
We're breaking live at Channel 4-7 here to bring you breaking news. Coach Fitka has just been fired from the Chicago team, football that is. Breaking live to Coach Fitka.
Hey, Coach Fitka, how we doing? How we doing?
Coach, over here.
Yeah.
Coach, over here.
Yeah.
Is it true?
You, sir.
Yes, Coach.
You, sir, in the smart coat.
Yeah, Coach, is that a Miller Lite?
No comment.
Okay. Coach, so you have just been fired by the Chicago Hot Dogs.
Let go.
Okay.
I was let go of the dogs.
Okay, you've been let go of the
Dags.
Chicago Hot Dags.
Hot Dag.
Right.
Hot Dag.
Look, so what do you have to say to the city? Are you
look? Chicago can go fuck itself.
Wow, how are our Chicago accents? I feel like they're turning into Boston accents.
Nah, they're pretty good. Look, I'm thinking about transferring to other teams. I've had multiple offers.
From who?
From the Wisconsin Wieners.
Wow.
Instead of the Chicago Hot Dogs.
Wow.
From the Houston Hot Ones.
What about the San Francisco Frankfurts?
San Francisco Frankfurters. They're in the running.
Could you betray your city like that, Coach?
It's just lips and assholes. You know, this whole league.
Coach, over here.
This whole league is just lips and assholes.
Listen, Coach. What do you have to say to the fans, Coach?
Get it? Because that's what old people call hot dogs. It's lips and assholes.
Coach, what do you have to say to the fans? Come on.
Fuck you.
The fans in Chicago.
Yeah, fuck you.
You know, people.
Fuck you, hot dog fans.
These people love.
Fuck you love your hot dogs. That's what you want.
These people love you, Coach.
They love hot dogs. Don't give a shit about me. I'm gonna go be a regular Philadelphia Frankfurter.
Coach, I thought that was San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Let's go.
Summer sausages. The Oakland O-rings.
Coach, we've heard some rumors about you going to, a minor league team, the Charleston. What was it there, Johnny? Charleston? They've got a team now? Okay, the Charleston chicken ring things?
Yeah, I've been approached about the ring things, and we're thinking, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, could be a chicken ring thing.
Coach, any final words here? Let's wrap this up. I feel like you're kind of a piece of shit.
You know what? I am a piece of shit. But wherever I go, I'm gonna play for a team like the Pittsburgh Potted Meats or the Vienna sausages.
Vienna,
the Springtown Spams, the Tennessee Treat Potted Meat Treats.
What about the Bakersfield Bacons?
The Bakersfield Bacons, if they make an offer, I mean, it's on the table.
What would they?
I'd be down to play with the Boston Bolognas. Any other regular meats that are also sports teams in whatever sport it is I play. I presume baseball. I seem very American being from Chicago.
What about the Missouri Meatloafs?
Hey, I'll play for the Meatloafs I tell you what, if they tell me that the Cubs are a better team than the Cards, hey. I'll tell you one time I went to Chicago and this homeless guy was like, I'm the king of the rats. And up next, probably more sports. Brief interjection from your program. I just wanted to throw out a couple of special thanks for the folks that make this show possible. Big thanks to Brad Sexton for our jams, Lamplighter Production for our artwork, Godsized Growing for some musical guest appearances, and Dave, who's our YouTube editor. We probably wouldn't even be on that platform were it not for him. If you want to check out anything any of these amazing people are working on, all of their links are in the description for this episode. If you want to contact the show, you can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at It's Just Two Movies. We've got a Facebook page now, so that's on there. You can always leave us a comment on YouTube, or you can email us at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com. Okay, yeah, and if you like the show, like, subscribe, leave us a review. That stuff helps tremendously. So anyway, back to the show. All right, Darkman. Let's get into it. Let's get dark.
Dark.
And I'm talking about like burned skin, gnarly facial prosthesis.
And how he got burnt was real interesting.
Yeah. So let's get into Darkman. It's a 1990 action horror, 1 hour, 36-minute runtime. Admittedly, I thought this was a comic book first. It was actually a movie first.
Okay.
And then, which was then turned into two Marvel runs.
Right. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought it was a comic first as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's got a 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, 65% on Meta, 84% of Google users like this movie. Admittedly, the other two are worse, but I was right. There is no small amount of schlock in this.
Right.
Like it's very crime noir, and some of the prosthesis are like, oh man, but for the most part, they look pretty good.
Yeah, I did like a lot of them, and all that schlocky scenes. He's running on the top of the truck, and it just is, his feet's going
little
nonstop.
Dangly legs.
Right.
So this is a Sam Raimi joint, which we could talk a little more about Sam Raimi down the pipe a little bit. He's kind of big. Multiverse of Madness just came out. Neither of us have seen it yet, I don't think.
No,
have you seen it?
I haven't. We almost went last weekend, but it's not something that Becca's into, so we just it's going to be me and Zayd and probably Ian that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have heard some kind of middling reviews, but most of the reviews that I've heard thus far is like, I guess if you're into comic books, maybe it's fun. And
it's probably confusing.
And I bet it is confusing, but it wouldn't be confusing for me because I like that subject matter.
Yeah, but it's like even the small amount that he was in the last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, No Way Home. It's not No Way Home. It is No Way Home.
The new Spider-Man movie is No Way Home.
Yes, so what little bit Doctor Strange was in that movie confused Becca because she hasn't watched
Doesn't
hardly
know
any
who he
of
is.
them.
He's a magic wizard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. He's just a magic wizard. He's doing some wizardy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's, if you look at every movie and you take it serious, not every movie is factual. You can't, not everything can happen.
Well, that was all right. I guess we'll talk about it now. I had responded to a thing on Twitter and somebody's like, are all the new MCU movies not as good? And a wealth of people were like, yes, they're not as good. Which I thought was amazing because I think if you go back and you watch every single one of the MCU movies, I think it's probably fair to say that not a majority, but certainly a decent portion of them are just okay.
Yeah,
you know
I would say I haven't seen all of them, but I would agree with some of that.
You have to take some of those okay movies to build to that bigger thing that is a spectacular event that will bring down the house.
You're building that big story, and all of it is a piece to it, right? So
right, exactly. So I mean, in Tony Stark fashion, I would say, let's go break some eggs. Just make the movies. I don't care. I'll watch them all. Are all of the newer ones? I really liked Shang-Chi.
Right.
I thought Eternals was okay. It didn't blow me away or anything, but I didn't see what everybody hated so much about it. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I hadn't seen either of them, and I heard the Eternals. Heard a lot of bad things, but I'm like, how bad could it really be? But I haven't seen it, so
it's fine. I think it's a bunch of characters. I think that's probably the part that confused everybody. Is it's 9 characters that you have never fucking heard of.
Right. Yeah.
So Anyway, back to Darkman. So directed by Sam Raimi, box office $48.8 million. Music by the ever popular Danny Elfman. Stars Liam Neeson, Frances McDormand. I don't know why Bruce Campbell is billed so fast, but he is literally in this for 10 seconds.
Yes.
Larry Drake, Stephen Daniel, John Cameron, Colin Freese. And I mean, there's a handful of other people in here, but Ted Raimi is in it. I suppose that's Steve Raimi's brother, probably. Nicholas Worth, I suppose he's worth mentioning. Yeah, and that's probably it. So what would you tell other people that are like, when you're like, I was on a podcast, we watched Darkman, and they're gonna go, what the fuck is Darkman?
Yeah, so Darkman is a scientist kind of guy. I don't know exactly what he did, but he's working on this high tech, a way to make skin, basically, or you can just 3D print basically anything.
If I had to throw a label at it, I would say that he is probably a chemical prosthesis engineer.
That sounds like exactly what.
That sounds like a real job.
Yeah.
If you're a genetic or not if you're a chemical prosthesis engineer, write us at the show. It's justdomovies@gmail.com. Add us Just Do Movies at Instagram or Twitter. We're on the Facebook, TikTok. We're on the YouTube. Just drop us a line any old where. Anywhere you can find a thing, we're there. Or just Google us. We're very Googleable, which I'm super proud of.
I'm impressed also.
Well, thank you.
So he's working on all this. These people, they're looking for something that his girlfriend has. They think he knows where it's at. They come looking, and he gets killed, they think. And then it's all about his revenge, trying to basically hurt the people that killed him, or attempted to kill him, rather.
This movie feels to me kind of like,
man, we've been doing a lot of revenge stories lately.
Yeah, it feels to me like Dick Tracy meets Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, hell yeah, that's pretty good.
You know what I mean?
That,
yeah. That's like the vibe here, because he's disfigured and he's hiding away and he's doing that kind of shit. But also, he's quite the detective.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's setting everybody up, and
and he's not a. Okay, well, here's a thing that I have umbrage with on this movie is there's a bit where he rips a piece of pipe off a wall. Just rips like a big copper pipe. It's probably like 4 feet long. It's a big piece of piping. And it's huge. And he just rips it off the wall and starts smashing fucking pallets and crates and shit with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, he's getting his ass kicked by a man who's just punching him.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like sometimes he has some sort of powers and sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah, and they try to really lean into letting you know when he's about to engage those powers. I don't like that.
Right.
I don't like the weird lightning and I mean, good on you for being ambitious, but I think when you look at the final product, just go, we should just do it without that. Like, just the regular scene probably looked fine.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, every time you had a bit of action like that, or a big scene like that, it did that. It had that, I'm not sure what kind of filming that is. I don't know what the technical term is for that, but it did that, like, chopped up kind of, like, we had the last movie we did kind of the same thing where it
Maniac Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some of that. Just like quick cut, I guess. I don't know what you would call it. That's what I would call it, a quick cut.
Right. So they had all these quick cuts, and it did that a lot. And there was some that I liked and some that I didn't like. But overall, yeah, it was just unnecessary, I think.
I think Sam Raimi has a very distinctive style. Like, kind of like Guillermo del Toro. Like, you can look at a movie. If somebody were to show me a Guillermo del Toro movie that had just come out and I just didn't even know it existed.
Yeah,
didn't tell me who directed it. I would sit there and I would watch it and I would go, "Is this a Guillermo del Toro film?" Like, I would just guess because he's got a very noticeable style about him. And I think the same thing is true of Sam Raimi. Like, editorially speaking, this has a lot of like Spider-Man vibes, like the original Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah, for sure.
Just kind of the way they put the stuff in. They're like, oh, cellular and neurons firing and just weird little clips of shit like
exactly.
that.
Yeah, actually, you're right. And there's even, this is not because of Spider-Man, or maybe it is, but there's a point where he even is almost like Spider-Man, where he's swinging.
I was like, Spider-Man,
right.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. I actually had fun with this, though.
Yeah, I agree. It was enjoyable.
It was definitely schlocky enough that I wouldn't say like, oh my God, man, this is not a movie. If somebody's like, hey, what's a really good movie I should watch?
Oh.
I wouldn't put this on my list unless they were like, what's a really good, like, kind of schlocky, cheesy sort of thing I can watch. This would make that list, I think.
Yeah. It depends on how many you go, but yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. No, this is pretty fun, but there are some things that I had problems with, and they're all pretty forgivable. But one of the biggest things where I'm like, well, Danny, actually, this is quite a good movie. Why would you put this in a bad movie category? Plainly put, when his apartment explodes, and he is like,
yeah,
and then he falls in the river. That's why. That's why. Nothing about that's good.
But it wasn't good.
It is laughably bad, though.
It is.
And I can see them making the effort, which is kind of what makes it hilarious.
Right. It was hilarious. I really enjoyed that part, actually. It wasn't good, but I laughed quite a bit at that.
They could have just been like, oh, a fucking two computers fell on top of him and he survived the explosion. Okay, great. And he didn't have to do that weird... I did appreciate it, though. I had a very good, hearty laugh at that.
Yeah, I didn't expect it at all. So I just thought he's going to explode. You're going to find him later. But no, here he comes right at the screen.
The prosthesis looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I like the look, like the trench coat and the wrapped in bandages with the top hat. I think that's a good look.
It is. It looks good until he starts talking.
Right. Yeah. Once you see his mouth move, and I think that's kind of why they keep the wraps on for most of the movie, or maybe it's just to increase the intrigue or whatever.
Possible.
But the look is, you're absolutely right. The look is good right up until the point where he starts talking.
Right.
And then it really loses its pizzazz.
Yeah. Some of the green screen scenes, they were pretty rough.
Man, that could have just been a background.
Right.
Like, you guys could have just painted that. There's people in Hollywood. That's what they do for a living.
Yeah,
you didn't have to green screen that or whatever weird editorial trick that is, because it looks bad.
Yeah, you can see clearly that it's done, and maybe that's part of it too, part of the schlock or whatever. It's I don't know, but
in my opinion, green screening a thing that could just be a picture that you stand in front of that's pretty schlocky for me.
Right. Yeah. So. And that just could be part of it, just to add something to it. I'm not sure, but I didn't love that part.
Yeah, visually there were some things. Now, granted, I am giving this plenty of slack because it's from 1990.
Right.
But that's not a thing that should have been an effect, is my point. There's no reason for that to be
I agree.
That scene shouldn't have any special effects in it. It's just two men talking in a room.
Oh, yeah.
You could have even spun the camera around in the room that they were already in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to be standing in front of that weird skylight thing.
Yeah, exactly. But man, that dude was all about that weird skylight thing.
He was, dude. He was fucking horny for it. And you know what? It wasn't a bad, like, his side of the story wasn't ridiculous. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh man, think about all the jobs we could create, and this beautiful skyline reclaimed by the slums or whatever. We could actually turn this into a productive part of society. And I was like, I'm on board.
Yeah, it
Like,
makes sense.
why is he's a bad guy? Because he had to get a document, and in order to get that document, he blew up fucking Liam Neeson, baby.
He did.
Also, young Liam Neeson, he aged so gracefully. He's like, he's a little obtuse looking as a younger man.
Yeah, it threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't really explain why, but I didn't expect
It looked
his
like he
look.
had Botox.
Right? Yeah, but was still young.
Yeah, I don't know. It was odd. Maybe I'm just too used to seeing him as an old man.
I assume that's what it is.
So, Liam Neeson, he's a fucking scientist. He's making fake skin. He's making fake noses. He wants to make fake skin.
But it only lasts 100 minutes.
Only one. This could have gone back to the writer's table too.
Yeah.
When he's like, time, he's like 99 minutes. He's like, time, 100 minutes. Time, 101 minutes. Oh my God, we've done it. How is that the...
Yeah, he goes from they're not even excited at 99 minutes, but that 100 minute. And I guess later he can't ever figure it out again because all his masks that he's making are just dissolving at the 100 minute mark. Or just
Nobody ever
after.
calls him Darkman either. He's never like, call me Darkman.
That is a good point. I don't know why they don't address that.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, the cellular bond or whatever.
I guess
they're
it's
photosensitive, so they need the dark.
Right. Yeah, I guess you're just supposed to put that together.
It just feels
for
a
yourself.
little. I feel like the name came first, and then they wrote the story, and they're like, "What about the name?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about the name."
That could be.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel kind of like that. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. There's plenty of fun to be had with this, though. Man, I'll be honest with you. One of my least favorite parts of the whole fucking movie is Liam Neeson.
Oh yeah.
Is Liam Neeson as Darkman? I don't know.
And there was a couple of times where his voice didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and he's there's some parts where he's going way over the top, like way over the top.
Yeah, he's at times he's just like he's fine and he can talk fine. He has a mask on. He doesn't do any kind of, or at least any kind of voice change sensors or anything in his throat. Nothing like that you see. But at times he's just like, I don't remember the woman's name, but he's, you know, he's just like a zombie. Julie.
Yeah, sometimes he'll be like, Julie, I love you, Julie. We're having a great time. And then later he's like, Julie.
Yeah.
Like a fucking Frankenstein monster.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you think about Larry Drake, who played Robert G. Durant?
He played, it was cast pretty well, I thought, actually. He was just kind of a creepy dude. He liked to cut people's fingers off, and his finger collection was quite impressive, actually.
He did have an impressive finger collection. You could tell he's been at it for a while. As a fellow collector, were you envious?
Yeah, I liked the rings. They were nice on there. That
Some
was
of them
a nice
were wearing
addition.
rings. That's like getting a steelbook.
Exactly.
It's like getting a steelbook DVD with a slipcover.
Yeah, it is.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm talking
I
about.
know all about it, baby. Oh, this one? It's actually got a ring on it still.
Yeah. I thought he was kind of just creepy. He's kind of like he's not the boss. You don't find out who the boss is till later of the whole thing. But he's kind of like, he runs that crew of the bad guys.
Yeah, he's like a mobster type.
Yeah, and he does a pretty good job, I thought. And he's kind of creepy. And later he gets beat up and you know, he's got the bloody face and he's doing pretty good. I don't know why I said that.
It's not him though. It's Darkman.
Well, I'm talking about later down the road after their first interaction and he does get beat up and then later he comes back and he's got the bloody face, but he's still like carrying on like no big deal, you know, still he's business as usual.
He's a creepy Weasley looking guy in it. And I can't quite decide if I like it or not. And I guess the fact that he makes me a little uncomfortable means I like him because he's supposed to not be likable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's doing a really good job at that.
Yeah, he's nailing it. Okay, so Liam Neeson, he's fucking fake skin doctor or whatever. After he gets Darkman, which means he just gets blown up and retreats into the sewers or whatever, and he's like, don't look at me, I have a pet cat, meow.
Yeah. That cat goes from
he recovers,
fuck off to being happy and just eaten by him in no time.
He salvages some of his equipment from his lab, which was his apartment also.
Yeah.
Where he was making all this fake skin.
He's just got it on a cart, moving it from one area to another.
Yeah, so he recovers a bunch of his equipment and he starts making fake skin down in this shitty warehouse or dungeon or wherever the fuck he's at.
Yeah, making masks essentially of the different people.
He's making people's fake hands and skin masks and all this stuff.
But they do. I thought it was kind of neat. He did actually go and take pictures of all these people as well. Mm-hmm. You know, and he had to have the picture to be able to do this, which that technology.
He had a really ballin' Nikon camera.
He did.
Yeah. So the technology was 110% science fiction at the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like what latex special effects makeup artists do now in reality, though.
Yeah, that is what they do, but they spend hours upon hours.
It's not just a rubber mask you peel off either. It's like layers of bits of latex and, you know, all kinds of shit.
So it's talking about his mask, and when they do dissolve, man, at that 100-minute mark, it was kind of interesting how they did that. I don't know if I liked it or not, but his face just kind of starts bubbling up at different places.
It was fun at the very least.
Right.
Because I like every time it would start to happen, I'd be like,
I'd laugh a little, right?
Yeah, have a little giggle at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of the acting for me is a little on the subpar side.
Yeah.
So I guess let's go ahead and rate it. Wait, was there anything you would do differently? I think I would recast Liam Neeson, and
man, it depends. It's so
I would
schlocky.
like take the little bit of goofy stuff that's in it because there's just some goofy shit in it. Like when he's dangling from a chain from a helicopter and he's running on the roof of a truck and it looks dumb and just why do it though?
I mean, I'm surprised you're not hearing
I'm sure it's just you having a little giggle with yourself and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, exactly.
That made the movie or whatever, but just take it out.
Yeah, but there's several scenes like that throughout the movie though.
Mm-hmm. Little bits and snippets, and they don't do it any service.
Right. Yeah.
So,
it's just schlock. You know, it's not there for any good reason. So, or that I can tell. It's just there to add something that's kind of funny, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could do away with some of that. It would be a more serious movie then. And I had read that it's actually a superhero movie. I don't know. Would you consider him a superhero?
I mean, he appears to have some feats of superhuman strength. He doesn't feel pain.
That's true.
Which is, I mean, that's an actual condition.
Right.
So I don't know how super it is, but
that'd be pretty cool.
I don't know I guess you could kind of say he's a superhero, but really if I were to remake this, I would step more firmly on this is going to be more horror forward.
Yeah, I think it could be a better movie if it's done that way.
Yeah. Like imagine if The Batman was a horror film.
Yeah, actually, that could be a pretty good idea.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I think that's what this was trying to do, but Jesus Christ, man, it's fucking 33 years ago.
Right.
That's a long ass time. Shit's come a long way. And I did read that Sam Raimi is in talks to do a reboot of this.
Oh, really? That'd be nice.
Yeah, so
I'd be down to check that out.
Yeah, I'd check it out too, especially because they would just give him a budget for it. Maybe he would do less silly shit, or maybe he would leave it in. Who the fuck knows? Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyway, thumbs. What do you got? If your thumbs are Darkman crispy chicken tender thumbs. How many Darkman crispy chicken tender thumbs out of 10 of those types of thumbs I just said would you give this?
I would give this, I actually did enjoy it quite a bit. I'm going to go an 8.
8? Yeah, I think I'm going to go 8.5. I had some fun with this. I genuinely was interested in it to see where it was going.
Yeah.
As something I haven't seen since I was, younger than 10.
Right. I had never seen it. Yeah, I was happy to check it out. I was aware of it, but I had never seen it. And I was surprised with how much I enjoyed it. Not in a serious way. I laughed quite a bit. As we said, some of the Effects were pretty decent. Some of the mask that he was wearing, how they came off at different points. That was kind of could have been better, I think, but I didn't watch it as a serious movie. I just enjoyed it.
For 33 years old, a lot of it looked quite good.
Well, yeah, that's true. You gotta consider that too.
It's rated. Next segment of the show.
Hey, what you watching?
What you been watching, J-Bone?
I've been watching a lot of blues hockey, as we talked about. It's on every other night, and it's a 3-hour event. So
we did,
and it starts at 8:30, which kind of blows. But
Ooh.
yeah, and it's 8:30 start, but it's more like 8:45, 8:50. Man, I stay up for that shit. Last night I stayed up for that shit, and then watched the movie that we watched for our first movie a second time.
Fuck.
I've
That's
been watching.
dedication right there.
Yeah, man, it was. I actually enjoyed it though, the movie and the blues hockey, because
Nice.
They won. I also been watching John Wayne Gacy tapes.
How is that?
It's a new Netflix.
I almost checked it out a couple of times, but I've seen so many John Wayne Gacy documentaries. I'm like, is it the same shit though?
Probably. I still enjoy a different take on all that. It's pretty much the same information, packaged different, I'm sure. It's all right. I mean, if you like serial killer stuff, you'll like it. It's not.
I do. I want documentaries about serial killers I don't know about though.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, like, all right. Don't get me wrong. If you think serial killers are interesting, you probably already know a lot about fucking Ted Bundy, Ed Gein, Albert Fish. Like you probably are H.H. Holmes. You probably already know these big. The Green River Killer, these big prolific serial killers, BTK.
Everybody, so many people have done them. Right?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, fucking, I don't put that shit on for my kid, but she knows who some of those people are just by osmosis, of knowing who they are in culture.
Right.
Well, that's great. That's all good. I appreciate good journalism and good research. But give me a fucking weird one nobody knows about. There's plenty of them out there, obviously, because I listen to some true crime stuff. I know you do too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing to me that you hear about some of these at times, because like Time Suck, for instance, you'll hear one that I haven't necessarily heard of or not as familiar with them.
I thought Andre Chikatilo was super interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like an old episode.
Oh, yeah.
Old. That's years and years old.
Exactly.
But I've not seen any documentaries about him.
Right, exactly. And that's why it was interesting. Like you said, having somebody that you're not as familiar with. It's a new story. It's what you already like in all these other serial killer stories or whatever. I call them stories. That's probably not
documentary.
Proper.
Yeah.
So,
I know what you're saying.
So, but yeah, it's the same thing, but it's a different story that you're not familiar with. So of course it would be entertaining. As far as watching, I ain't really been watching a whole lot else. I have watched some, I watched some stuff like My Name is Earl in the background kind of stuff. I'm doing other stuff.
Your name is Earl?
Earl, Dude, that show has so many guest stars, episode per episode.
Cold beer?
Yes, sir.
I bet you never have to change bet you never need a stepladder to change a light bulb.
I mean, if it's over 8 foot, I do.
You tall bastard.
I can reach an 8 foot.
You got an 8 foot
ceiling.
reach?
Yeah.
God, fucking monster.
But yeah, I can't do any more than that.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah, when I used to hang drywall, it was nice because a lot of ceiling, in residential, a lot of ceilings are 8 foot, so I could put a nail in the top of an 8 foot wall and beat it in,
Yeah.
And some of the people I worked with one dude that was like almost 7 foot tall. So he was nice to work with because he could do all that stuff easy.
Right.
We'd walk around on stilts to screw ceilings off, and he was just like, just walking around the house. That was my effect of him using the automatic drill.
It was good. It came through.
Right. But I have been checking out some games, man. You want to talk about what you've been watching, or do you want me to tell you about the games I've been checking out? I
binged Moon Knight.
Right. Yeah,
the whole series Moon Knight. Wow.
Obviously don't spoil that, but you liked it.
I won't spoil. Here's what I will tell you about it. It is a really fantastic portrayal of a man with split personality disorders.
Okay. I know very little about Moon Knight.
It just so happens that one of his personalities was able to obtain their superhero intentions. Go ahead.
That's so far away. Nailed it.
A brick. I didn't even have to see it.
You ruined it.
So it's Oscar Isaac, who's a fantastic actor. He was in, if for some reason you follow along and watch all the movies we watch, he was in Ex Machina. But Oscar Isaac plays two guys. Stephen, I can't remember his last name, doesn't matter. Stephen and Mark. And Mark has made a pact with an ancient Egyptian god to be Moon Knight. And Stephen just knows that he has blackouts. And that's it. Where he'll like wake up, he'll go to bed and he'll wake up in a strange place. And then he's like, oh no, not again. Oh. And it's Oscar Isaac doing this really great, like, I don't know if it's Welsh or like what area of England it's from, but his accent's delightful, and I like it. I think he's doing a great job with it.
Okay.
And then his other personality does not have an accent.
That's definitely one that I would like to check out, but man, the list of things that I'd like to check out.
It just keeps getting longer every
Yeah.
single day. Yeah. I rearrange my books like reference, have read, haven't read. And the haven't read section is growing larger, and the read section is staying the same.
I know what you mean, believe me.
I've got to really make some headway on reading some stuff. And apart from that, I feel like I watched a movie. I did. What was it called? It doesn't matter. I watched a movie on Hulu, and it was not good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was not cool. It was like, I
was gonna say, maybe you should think of the name because
this lady has suicidal tendencies, and she feels like she's gonna die tomorrow. That's what it is. She feels like she's gonna die tomorrow. She calls her friend or psychiatrist or whatever, and she's like, oh wow, that's fucking crazy. She gets off the phone with her, and then her psychiatrist, so it spreads like an illness, thinking they're gonna die tomorrow.
Okay.
And it sweeps across these people or whatever, and it's their different story, which sounds really interesting. It's fucking so boring.
Oh, wow.
It is so incredibly boring. It just
does
like
sound interesting.
Somebody thinks it's like the deepest thought ever. And it's it's good. It's good, but you got to do something with it. You can't just go, have you guys ever thought about this?
You can, but it doesn't.
It's not a movie, though. It's just saying a thought.
Right. So
I can't remember what it was called, so sorry that's not helpful. But if you look at the description of the film and that's what it's about, just skip it.
Yeah. That's probably it then.
I'll save you an hour, 40 minutes. It was...
Or watch it. And
let
us know what you think.
If it's bad, write me. It's just movies at gmail.com. And it's just movies on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and other places, I'm sure.
It's hard to get all those at one time.
Twitter.
Man. Right. TikTok, you did that?
Letterboxd.
Nice. I've been checking out a game that came out on Game Pass. Man, I love Game Pass. It is such a good, you get your money's worth there for sure.
Yeah, that's what I hear, man. The honest to God, I've been thinking about purchasing an Xbox for Game Pass.
Dude, it's worth it. There's so much on there. But every new Microsoft game comes out, it's on there. So even some of your big titles you get at no cost. Well, your monthly cost, but nothing extra.
New Halo game was free.
Right, exactly.
New Halo game was free. Dude, I remember that's like one of the only like midnight releases I ever went to, and it was fucking insane.
I bet for Halo,
yeah.
And some of those Halo nerds, they get crazy.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Right. I played a fair amount of Halo, but I wasn't as into it as
came out when I was in college. I didn't go to class all week.
Nice.
And then that just continued for the rest of the semester. I'm not particularly proud of it. I did get an education, but I had to get it out of school later, the harder way.
Yeah,
and also still pay for the other school.
Of course. So anyway, the game that I have been playing, Trek to Yomi. It's it's actually black and white.
This is you showed me. It looks like an old Kurosawa film. It looks cool.
Right? Yeah, it's all black and white. I haven't seen anything other than that so far, and I've gotten like 4 or 5 chapters in. I think I've completed 4. I think it's only like 6 or 7, so it's not a real long game.
Yeah,
but it's a side-scrolling game.
It looks like if you give it a Google, it looks like the black and white cinematic mode for Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's just the look of it. It looks cool.
And I've never played that.
What type of game is it?
It's a side-scrolling action game. It's hack and slash almost, but it's very side-scrolling. So it's there's times where you run around and more than just left and right. But when you're in fighting, it is only left and right. You know what I mean? Just side scrolling as it could be. And you have your different, along the way, you help different villagers because it's about, these people, I don't know the whole story, but it's about they've destroyed your village and it's another revenge story, basically.
That's feudal Japan, sounds like.
Right, yeah, and you're trying to go after these people that have destroyed your village, and villages around, and they kill your people or whatever, and then
God, could you imagine like living on Japan back in the day and being like,
oh man,
this is the whole world. These couple of islands.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah.
Another game was Ravenous Devils. It's set, in I don't know what country, but it's like an older time, and you're a tailor. You're your husband and wife, and you're a tailor.
This is that kind of top-down thing you showed me. Is that what you're talking about?
No, this is. It's like it's very similar to Fallout. Not Fallout. Vault. The Vault game where you control your vault. The Fallout.
Yeah, I got you.
It's not Fallout though. It's you control a vault, and it's that type of game. So you're a tailor, and people come into your shop, and you have to kill them, and then you throw them down this hole, and then your wife is grinding up the bodies and cooking the meat, and she's selling.
What's it called?
Ravenous Devils.
Oh, it sounds like the plot for the movie Sweeney Todd.
Right. Yeah. Similar.
Oh, okay.
So you're cooking your wife is cooking the people. You guys are trying to get rich. And you can upgrade your kitchen, and you can upgrade your tailor shop, and you
Ravenous
can upgrade
what?
Devils.
Ravenous Devils.
Ravenous Devils.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
It's I did buy it, but it was only brand new, and it was only like $5 or $6. I think $5.99 or something.
Oh, just indie game.
Yeah. So it's nice and cheap. It's probably not a long game. I haven't played a lot of it. I've only upgraded a few things, but it is a pretty cool game. I was one of my buddies on Xbox had recommended it, that he was going to do it because he loves those type of games.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up buying it before he has, but he's been stuck on Elden Ring. So
I think that's common with a lot of people. Looks cool though. Have I been getting into any games? Man, I keep thinking about, because I saw it in the store and I haven't shut the fuck up about it. I'm probably going to buy it. Fucking Chicken Police, paint it red.
You need to. It sounds like.
I know, man. It sounds like just a dumb, fun detective game that I can beat in like 2 sittings.
Probably.
Yeah. But it sounds fun, and I do want to play it. I'm thinking about purchasing an Xbox. It's kind of a big purchase, and I'm not a tight ass. I just like to spend my money on different shit.
Right.
So
add something else to the time that you don't have.
Exactly. Yeah. It would be a new gaming console that I don't have time to play.
Right.
So that would be the biggest thing. But I do keep thinking about buying one though. Like every time I see one, I'm like, that's not that bad. That's not that bad.
Well, I play mostly on Xbox, so I think it would be great if you get an Xbox.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be great. Oh, you smell that fart box.
You guys aren't going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that gold talk for a one-eyed Batman.
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
The Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns, we fight with our mind.
Cousin, business is booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
How angry did it make you feel when the dude is like, I thought he was beating off at first, But he's not beating off.
I knew what he was doing immediately. That fucker. Yeah, and I have seen him in shit. He's got such a smug look.
He does. He plays that character well.